This candle's wick stayed right there. This candle's wick stayed right here. They don't teach you this. They don't teach you this in books, as ICT says. You're not going to find this in Dollarama mentorships. You're not going to find that. That is precision. I'm in here based on this 5-minute inversion for value gap right here, which closes in 36 seconds. We have a new 4-hour candle opening in the next 30 seconds as well. So I'm ultimately targeting these relative equal highs here. Nothing crazy, only going in one contract here. And let's see what happens. I'm looking for speed here above this high and speed above this first presented fair value gap here. Once I see those things, I will move up my stop. The reason why I was a bit hesitant was because we're trading into a 5-minute. And given the market conditions that we are in, I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to treat it as a 5-minute fair value gap that we go into and just simply reject, or go into and simply inverse. So that's why I was waiting. You can see I highlighted this fair value gap here, hoping that it will be an inversion, but after seeing this, it's not really strong. I saw this, I'm like, okay, I'm not really quite seeing the displacement that I like here. Yeah, we formed an order block, but so what? We have a 5-minute right above us. And that was my thought process going into this. Alright, I'm trailing my stop here to break even. If price were to come back down here, I wouldn't want to be in this trade anyways, because I'm expecting that this first presented, once we get above it, will propel us to take out these equal highs right up here. So that's my thought process. We're in the upper half of this entire range. And the only thing is, I feel as though NQ might be doing some foolishness today. Simply because we got Powell talking here at 12. But the technicals are saying elsewise. Technicals are showing and supporting the idea of expansion higher. So I can't let my fundamental analysis get into the way of what the charts are actually saying. I'm not liking how we're starting to stall here. So we might have to trade into this first presented to kind of give us rocket fuel to go higher. Okay, we close into that first presented gap with a bit of heaviness. Not the best thing that I want to see there. I would like to see it close right back out of that range of the first presented. At minimum, get back above consequent encroachment. Okay, I like that. Let's see if we can get some continuation higher now. If we get speed above this local high right here, I'm trailing my stop up right below this low. Not quite the speed that I'm looking for above that high. But nevertheless, I am going to trail my stop here. About there. I'm looking for this to be treated as a bullish order block. These 3 down close candles, consecutive down close candles, looking for that to be treated as a bullish order block. My stop is right below there, so if it does fail, if in the event, I might stop right there, so it's fine. And it's below the first presented fair value gap, so it should be able to take us higher here. We want to see down close candles supporting price higher. Again, prices start to slow down here. You can tell that prices start to slow down here simply by looking at the amount of displacement we had in this lower half of this price run. And once we get above here, not the fastest, but yet still moving up. So that's the thing. I am going to be looking to move down my take profit. I don't want to take it out all the way at the top there. All right, so I'm treating this as a propulsion block right here. Mark this out. treating this down close candle, the opening price of it, as a propulsion block. I wouldn't want to see price spend too much time in here. I just want to see it trade into it and just explode right back up. If we close like this, I have no problem moving up my stop here. You see, that's wicked work right there. That's pretty wicked work. That's pretty wicked. Yo. That's pretty wicked, dude. Alright, fam. We're out. Up. I'm taking it right there, man. I don't care. TP's hit. Anyways, it's fine. Same thing. But we can see this propulsion block held to the tick. That's precision. Look at the opening of this down close candle. Look at where these 3 to 4 series of candles stayed. The opening, the close of this down close stayed right here. The opening of it stayed right there. This candle's wick stayed right there. This candle's wick stayed right here. They don't teach you this. They don't teach you this in books, as ICT says. You're not going to find this in Dollarama mentorships. You're not going to find that. That is precision. Now, if you guys want to say, oh, buyers and sellers, they came together and so on and so forth, and they stopped right here at the opening price, it takes a lot more faith for you to believe that than to say, yo, there is an algorithm, in fact, repricing and delivering and moving these markets. It's a lot more easier to say. That right there is precision. That's precision. And I called it out to the tick. Propulsion blocks are powerful. Based on what I've observed about propulsion blocks, they tend to happen in the upper half of the range. So for example, again, this is just my observation. I could be wrong. But if we were to take a projection of the swing high to the swing low, right? Anything above 0.5, you're at a premium. Look at where this propulsion block happened. Above 50%, but more importantly, above 75% of the intended range. And that's what I've been noticing. Past couple times I've used propulsion blocks and labeled propulsion blocks, they tend to happen in the upper half, more specifically the 75% of the entire dealing range. Now that's algorithmic. They're not teaching you guys this. That is not buying and selling pressure. Again, if you want to believe it's buying and selling pressure, believe what you want. You're entitled to. But don't come and tell me, say, oh, there's no algorithm, ICT's concepts don't work. Because how did I explain that? How did I label that and called it before it even happened? I'm not God. I don't know what's going to happen. How do you explain that? Oh, I got lucky? Again, it takes more faith to say that, hey, I got lucky than to say, yo, there indeed is in fact an algorithm who's pricing and booking these markets. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Learned something new, most importantly. Got to see what's going through my head during this trade process. What things I like and what are some things that I didn't like. What are some things I'm looking for and what I'm not looking for. And that's more important than you seeing the actual trade execution, is knowing the why and how I entered and what was the thought process and the logic behind that. So if you guys learned something, leave a comment down below if you guys liked the video, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. God bless.